Good evening, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV coming to you live with breaking news. A passenger plane carrying 9 passengers and 1 pilot has gone missing in Alaska. It was flying from Unalakleet, if I am pronouncing that right. I apologize if I am not, but I think it is Unalakleet, Alaska to Nome, Alaska. Supposed to be, as I understand it, about a 45-minute flight, and it never made it there. And there's a search and rescue operation going on right now. Now, certainly we hope that the plane can be found and that the people on board are okay. 10 people total, a pilot and 9 passengers. This was a Bering Air passenger plane, a Grand Cessna, I believe, well, it's a Caravan. It's a Cessna Caravan plane. I think I might have found the plane on Flight Radar 24, which says Cessna Grand Caravan EX plane. So we'll talk about this. But again, this plane is missing, and I know a lot of people in the chat are talking about this. There have been, just in the last week, in the last 7 days, 2 fatal accidents. There was on January 31st, I believe it was. Wasn't that January 31st when the plane crash happened in D.C.? And then with the plane and helicopter in D.C. And then on February 2nd, I think it was the Philadelphia fatal plane crash. Let me just double check those dates. But those were both fatal crashes, and those happened on January 31st. Oh, no, I'm sorry. January 29th and January 31st were the 2 dates of those. So one was 8 days ago, and one was 6 days ago. Or 7 or 9, depending on whether you're counting this as the 7th or the 6th. But yeah, basically, roughly a week ago, there were 2 fatal air crashes. I've seen nothing reported so far to suggest this is connected to the other 2, but certainly that's something on a lot of people's mind lately. So let's talk about this. Again, this plane is missing, and it was reported missing, by the way, at 4 p.m. Alaska time, which was about 4 hours ago. It was reported missing. And it's supposed to be a fairly short flight. Okay, so let me show you here. This is from the Alaska Department of Public Safety. I believe B&O News originally found this post. I appreciate them finding it. Search and rescue overdue aircraft. Dispatch text. On February 6, 2025 at 4 p.m., about 4 hours ago, Alaska State Troopers were contacted by AKRCC in reference to an overdue aircraft. It was reported that a Bering Air Caravan plane had gone missing while en route from Unalakleet to Nome with 9 passengers and 1 pilot on board. Search and rescue crews are working to get to the last known coordinates. Update to follow. I'm going to show you here. on Flight Radar 24. I think this might be the plane because this is a Unalakleet to Nome plane. And what you can see here is on February 6th, Unalakleet to Nome. The scheduled takeoff was 3:55. The actual takeoff was 2:38. Actual time of departure, 2:38 p.m. So, I mean, I don't know that there's another. I looked it up on. I looked up the Unalakleet airport on Flight Radar 24, and I don't know that there's another Unalakleet to Nome Bering Air flight around the same time. Departures. That's Unalakleet Air. No, I want yesterday. I need yesterday's departures. Let me go find it on the map there. But anyways, I think this might be the plane. And the other thing about this plane, the other obvious thing about this plane here is look at the flight tracker. It doesn't get there, right? That's a Unalakleet to Nome flight, and it never gets there, at least on the flight radar. So that's why I think this might be the flight. Again, it's the right takeoff airport. It's the right destination airport. It's the right general time frame, and on the radar, it never gets there. And if you wonder, well, is it always like that on the radar? No, because I went back and I found a January 22nd flight. January 22nd, Unalakleet to Nome. Same exact plane, and that gets there. That's what it should look like. That took about 45 minutes, that flight on January 22nd from Unalakleet to Nome. Okay? Same flight number. It said, I don't know if it's the exact same plane. It says Cessna 2008B Grand Caravan EX. So it's the same flight number. That's what it should look like. But the one from today, which is, again, Cessna 208B Grand Caravan EX, I mean, that's the radar data. Oh, did Flight Radar 24 already post about this now? One of our viewers said that Sonic said that they've confirmed it now. Did Flight Radar 24 because I checked their Twitter before I came on the air and I hadn't seen it. Yes, Flight Radar 24 just posted about it. This is the flight. This is it. This is confirmed. It's literally Flight Radar 24 just posted the flight I'm showing you 3 minutes ago, and they said it's just this. They say flight AE4 or 445 departed Unalakleet at 2:38 local, and it never got there. Well, according to the radar. So that, I mean, I don't know if, I mean, obviously the radar, the flight data stops over water. And you can see what the plane generally looks like here in the corner here. So we are bringing you live coverage. Again, it's supposed to be a short flight, around 45 minutes. Let me show you the flight data here. So you can see it took off at 11:36, which is universal time. And the data stops about 40 minutes in. 40 minutes in is the data stops. And can we get the chart here? Thank you again, Sonic, for mentioning that post. Here is the flight data. It just stops. So the altitude, look at this. The altitude is in blue. So it takes off. It goes up to about 7,500 feet. It starts going down, the altitude, but it stops around 5,000 feet. And the speed is, you can see, about 150 miles an hour, 160 steadily, and then it goes up and then down. But I mean, I'm not a flight expert, but what I can see on this is you lose the data when the blue line, which is the altitude line, is at over 100 feet. And I don't, by the way, let me show you actually, that descent could have been, it was almost there. It was almost there where it's supposed to go. So, I mean, Nome is right here. So maybe it's supposed to start descending right around then. If you go back, if we pull up the January 22nd, same route, same flight number, you can see, yeah, this is what the data looks like. Look at this. This is the February 22nd flight. And you can see, look at the altitude profile. It goes up, it plateaus, and then at about, I'm just trying to eyeball it here, but about 35 minutes in, it starts going down. And that's, the blue line is the altitude profile from a successful flight from, January 22nd. The flight today was this. Oops, I did something here to mess up the scale here. I don't know what I did on the scale, but hold on, let's try this again. I did something here. Anyways, though, what you can see is the blue line goes up, stays steady, starts going down, and then it just disappears at about 5,000, a little over 5,000 feet. This was a Bering Air flight, yes. So as far as I'm aware, this is a commercial flight, Bering Air. Bering Air is an American airline headquartered in Nome, Alaska. Bering Air. It was a Bering Air flight. Oh, it shows the aircraft. Cessna Caravan EX. Is this the one? Hold on. Cessna Caravan. It says they have the following aircraft. Oh, I guess they have 18 Cessna Caravans. It says here. Let me show you one other announcement about this I saw from the Nome Volunteer Fire on Facebook. Oh, they just posted something. Hold on, what is this? We have updates from the Nome Volunteer Fire Department on Facebook. We are currently responding to a report of a missing Bering Air Caravan. There were 10 people on board and aircraft was en route from Unalakleet to Nome. We are currently doing an active ground search in Nome and from White Mountain and have as much up-to-date information on the event as possible. Due to weather and visibility, we are limited on air search at the current time. The National Guard and Coast Guard and troopers have been notified and are active in the search. Norton Sound Health Corporation is standing by. We ask the public to please think of those who may be missing at this time. But due to weather and safety concerns, please do not form individual search parties. Families are encouraged to seek support at Norton Sound Health Corporation. More information will be posted as it is confirmed and becomes available. Okay, then they said, our latest information from flight service, the pilot of the plane told Anchorage Air Traffic Control he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared. Search experts, I don't know what that means. Search efforts are expanding as more details emerge. Then it says There is a C-130. I'm going to pull up the current radar. There's a C-130 Coast Guard plane planning to scope the area and see if they can get a visual of the plane to assist ground crews with GPS coordinates. They will not land in the area. Elmendorf is also sending flight support through the Air Force. Ground crews have covered ground all along the coast from Nome to Topcock. The plane's exact location is still unknown. We will continue to expand search efforts to as many avenues as possible until the plane is located. The C-130 has arrived in the Nome area. The plane will not land, but will fly a grid pattern over the water and shoreline in attempts to locate the plane. The plane is equipped with specialized equipment for search and rescue that enables them to locate objects and people through no visibility conditions. Another update. Hold on a second here. What did I do? I did something here that I just tried doing something. Hold on. Oops. Just tried doing something and it wasn't what I wanted to do. There, that's what I wanted to do. This post says, update, a search and rescue imagery report of the ice conditions was provided by Rick Tommen of UAF utilizing imagery from NOAA. From this, we can see a lead in the ice near shore as well as some ice pack. Does anyone understand what this means? We can see a lead. Are they saying like a lead in the ice near shore? Yeah, I think this is just about the weather conditions. I don't necessarily think they mean they can see the plane, a place of the train. A lead would be open. Again, I don't know when this was taken, this thing. Oh, no, this is search and rescue. Hold on. This is search and rescue imagery. This is SAR imagery. Okay. So, yeah, when they say a lead in the ice, let me check something here. A long, narrow opening or crack. Okay. ChatGPT says a lead in the ice can mean a long, narrow opening or a crack. A possible path where aircraft, or wreckage could be visible. So I'm not sure. But again, this is a few minutes ago, the Nome Volunteer Fire Department said a lead in the ice near shore as well as some ice pack. I don't even know where I'm seeing it, though. Where is, on the map, Nome would be, hold on. Nome would be there. Are we seeing, what part of, hold on, let me go back to the map. Yeah, Nome is here. So Nome would be here. Nome would be around here. Again, I'm the light green spot. I'm not sure where the lead in the ice near shore is. You know, I'm not sure what the reference is to. I believe there is one. I just don't know if I can see it. Yeah. So as one of our viewers said, that doesn't necessarily mean there's a wreck there, but let me show you the current flight radar in the area, because is there still aircraft flying over the area? Let's see. I just haven't pulled it up here. Give me one moment. I'll pull it up here. Here's Alaska. I think I'm in the wrong place. Up here. Here it is. There's Nome. So there's no plane on flight radar there right now. Let me go to history. Playback. This is flight radar 24. Currently, let's start the playback an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Playback. Start playback 2 hours ago. Can we see any planes flying around? Searching. There's one right there. That must be it. No, that's not it. That's just a passenger plane. How about this one? I was just looking to see if we can see the plane when it was searching around. 4 hours ago? Maybe a few. No, I'm sure I can get you the radar of the. We already were looking at the radar of the plane that's missing, but I was trying to find maybe the search and rescue plane. I'm not that concerned with it. Oh, hold on, right there. That one. Yeah, United States Coast Guard. So this is the flight of the Coast Guard plane. I think it's sped up. This is sped up. Oops. Did it disappear there? Anyways, you did see there was a Coast Guard plane there in the area. I'm not going to get overly hung up on replaying the Coast Guard plane. I don't even know if that, one of our viewers said it shut its transponder off. Maybe it did. I don't even know. There is a plane right there. That I wouldn't be surprised if that Coast Guard plane was doing search. But I don't know for sure. Again, this is not live. That's not a live, but that is about, I think about half an hour ago or so. This looks like it's landing there. Maybe it didn't do search. Maybe it's just landing. I think it's just landing at the airport. I don't know though. Anyways, I'm not going to really worry about that right now. No, it goes back and forth. It did go back and forth. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not going to worry about it. We know there's search and rescue that's been going on. But right now, if I go back to live, this is live and I don't see anything there right now. Hold on a second here. Let me just check ADSB Exchange and see if they have anything up there. Here's ADSB Exchange. If we go over here, we go to Alaska and we go up here, and I don't see anything there on ADSB Exchange live right now. Okay, so again, we're covering a let me just tell you what Alaska time is right now. Alaska time right now, what is it, about 8:28 p.m. So about 6 hours ago, a plane took off and from Unalakleet, Alaska, and it was carrying 9 passengers and a pilot, a Bering Air Caravan aircraft. And it was supposed to be on about a 45-minute flight or so, from what I can gather, to Nome, Alaska. It never made it there. It is missing. It was reported missing around 4 p.m. local time. That's about 4.5 hours ago. The search is still going on. If you look at Flight Radar 24, it shows you that the plane made it, I don't know, 4/5 of the way there, and then the data is just gone. And also, if you look at the speed and altitude graph, what you see is the plane takes off. The blue is the altitude going up. Then it's cruising at a certain altitude, around 7,500 feet. And as it eventually is supposed to do, I don't know about the exact timing, it's supposed to start descending to make a landing, but it lost data. Data stopped when that plane was still about over 5,000 feet at altitude. I cannot say why it lost contact. It lost contact timing-wise. That says 0016, that'd be about 3:16 p.m. local time. So roughly 5 hours and 15 minutes ago, the ADS, I don't know if there was still voice contact after that, but the flight data stopped around 5 hours and 15 minutes ago. Let's hope they can find them. But again, this is Alaska, and it's northern Alaska, western Alaska. But Anchorage is over here. You can see this Fairbanks over here. And this plane, you can see it on Flight Radar 24, was going from Unalakleet to Nome. And it just never got there. Mexi said, interesting that there's an increase in speed when the descent starts. Yeah, I am not a flight expert, so I cannot tell you what all this means. The yellow is the speed. And I can show you again on this same flight number, same route. This is back on January 22nd. And you do have that's the flight statistics, the speed and the altitude from the January 22nd flight. So you might say that's what it's supposed to look like. At least that's what a normal flight looked like. I assume that was a normal flight. You don't see a great increase in speed here, but I can't speak to that because I'm not an expert in aviation. I'll leave it to the experts. But this is the data profile now. Is this increase in speed normal? Maybe it is. I don't know. I can't say. Why did it go like up and then down like this? Obviously, why did we lose data? Why? I have no idea. No idea. Is it a small plane? I believe this kind of plane holds like around 10 to 14 people. I don't know about this exact model. This is a Grand Caravan EX. According to the Cessna website, a Grand Caravan EX holds 10 to 14 people. This particular plane, if you look up the registration, I have the FAA info for this plane. Right here, I have it. N321BA. FAA registry. N321BA has assigned multiple records. Yes, Bering Air, registered owner. Bering Air, that's the airline, and based in Nome. The plane, manufacturer year 2020. 2020? Is that true? It says it's a 208B. MFR year 2020? Fixed wing single engine, manufacturer Textron Aviation. Does that have to do with Cessna? Because I had read, when I looked up Grand Caravan, I'm just, at Flight Radar it says Cessna 208B Grand Caravan EX. But I looked up N321BA and I got this. Tyler Levesque says it could be refurbished. I do not know. It said there's multiple records for the plane, so I just don't know. I'm just showing you. This is literally the FAA site for that plane. Just looking down here. Oh, there's a deregistered aircraft that says Beach. So I don't know what all this means. Deregistered aircraft 202 L-23 Super. I don't know if the same number was used by other aircraft previously. I don't know. Anyways. So I'm not going to pretend to be an expert and look at that stuff, but that's just, it's a single engine fixed wing plane, turboprop. Let me see if I can find you any other updates here. Did they update on the Nome Volunteer Fire Department? What was this thing here? The Nome Volunteer Fire Department has been posting about this. What was this thing also when they said, our latest information from flight service, the pilot of the plane told Anchorage Air Traffic Control that he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared. Search efforts are expanding as more details emerge. Waiting for a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared. Now, if you look at the flight data on flight radar, it certainly doesn't seem to be circling at all. Yeah, I mean, you'd think, when I hear holding pattern, I'm like, okay, it's like circling around. But now, maybe for some reason the data went out before that. But, I mean, if you look there, there's no circling. Mark Emerson says holding pattern for someone to plow snow off the runway probably never got into the pattern. Oh, by the way, one of our viewers mentioned something, which I should have checked, and I appreciate mentioning it. So I'll check it right now. Yes, Cessna is owned by Textron Aviation. Right. Good spot by our viewer. So the manufacturer of this plane is Textron Aviation, but they own Cessna. So it says Textron Aviation, but it also says here Cessna. So thanks for mentioning that. The current Nome, Alaska weather, it's 12 degrees Fahrenheit, wind 1 mile an hour. I'm not sure what it was a few hours ago, but it's cold. It's very cold. I don't know if that's, maybe it's normal for them. It's 11 degrees Fahrenheit and 13 degrees Fahrenheit currently. But remember, they did say there were weather issues because they said here, the Nome Volunteer Fire Department said, due to weather and visibility, we are limited on air search at the current time. Right now, the National Weather Service says light snow. But a couple hours ago, about 2 hours ago, they posted that they're limited on air search due to weather and visibility. And I'm waiting for them to post another update, and they have not. So we'll keep checking the Nome Volunteer Fire Department. I'm going to check a couple other things as well. But obviously very concerning that flight path there, which you see on Flight Radar 24, just stops. By the way, I appreciate our moderators being here. We have moderating. Yeah, Sonic mentioned that Textron owns Cessna as well. Thank you, Sonic. Thanks to our moderators who are here. And I'm going to take some of your comments here in a second. Roberts, May Queen, and Cynthia Moon are moderating. Thank you. Ruth Krafasi, Linda Belk, Larry, and X. Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X. Also our Twitch moderators, thank you. We have moderating there Sarah and Surly Dev, thank you. And also we have, give me one moment here. Val Griffin, Val G. Griffin, Paul Anderson moderating over on Facebook. Thank you. It would be dark there now because it is 8:40 p.m., I believe. So dark now, which certainly wouldn't make search any easier. Christina Neal is moderating as well. Okay. Give me a moment. Let me search for a couple things. And I'm sure people are sending me things as well. But just give me a quick moment here. Oh, let me see. No. Yeah, there's really not much information aside from what the Nome Volunteer Fire Department said. Oh, Autism Mommy mentioned that the Coast Guard did post about this. Thank you, Autism Mommy, for sending that along. Let me show you what the Alaska Coast Guard said. They said, well, Coast Guard Alaska said. They said, Coast Guard District 17 responded to an aircraft emergency notification from Alaska Rescue Coordination Center at 4:30 p.m. today for a Cessna Caravan that reported to have 10 people on board. An HC-130 Hercules airplane crew from Air Station Kodiak to search their last known position. The aircraft was 12 miles offshore when its position was lost. Well, that's what the 12 miles offshore. So they're confirming its position was lost offshore, which we could see in the Flight Radar 24 data there. Hang on a moment, just checking a couple other things here. Oh, one of our viewers mentioned, Cliff Higson mentioned that Flight Radar 24 posted again. The latest post from Flight Radar 24 says, there is a U.S. Coast Guard HC-130J Super Hercules conducting low-level search and rescue operations in the area around Nome. Coverage is variable, and this aircraft may enter and exit out of coverage in the area intermittently. Okay. So, Flight Radar 24 just posted that. Oh, they posted about a half an hour ago. I hadn't seen that yet. So I'm looking right here, and I don't see it at the moment. I think I can get weather up here. Weather, current weather. No, clouds, precipitation. North American radar. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I assume the blue is snow. Yeah, that is from Flight Radar 24. This plane is just a passenger plane there. That's a Air France plane flying from Tokyo to Paris. Well overhead. That's at about 32,000 feet. And if we go back here, oops. So to repeat, the DC crash involving a helicopter and an airplane was on January 29th. The Philadelphia crash of an air ambulance small plane was on a Learjet was on January 31st. Now we have a plane with 10 people, including the pilot, missing. A passenger plane that was flying from Unalakleet to Nome, Alaska. And this plane took off on February 6th, excuse me. Sonic, who knows a lot about aviation, says in its 40 plus years of service, the Cessna 208 has experienced 427 fatalities. All right, give me a moment here. I'm checking some other things out. One of our viewers mentioned to me that he or she saw a FAA weather cam, which I'll show you. I appreciate the viewer mentioning that. That was UFO community. And you can see there's an FAA weather cam. This is the Nome airport, but it's so big. Maybe we can do it this way. That's better. Show camera loop. Play. That's 5 hours ago. That's the Nome airport 5 hours ago. That's 4 hours ago. This is that's 3 hours ago. Yeah, I don't know that this is much worse than usual. Like I mean, it's as one of our viewers said, it's Alaska. So, but that that right there. Oops, hold on. Why did this get small? Oh, I see. Hold on. How do I pause it? Here. So that right there. That's from. That's from 3:56 Alaska time, which is probably because the plane took off at about 2:40 local time, and it was reported missing around 4. And yeah, it went missing on the radar around a little after 3. So this picture is roughly an hour after the plane went missing there, because that's 3:56 Alaska time. So that shows you what the airport looked like, and that they were flying to, and they weren't that far away from, about 45 minutes or an hour after the went missing on the radar. And then this is, 5 hours old, and I'm just kind of, oh, and you can see like one of the pictures here. See some tracks. I don't know if that's kind of a similar plane to what this is. I mean, it's a fixed wing, single propeller craft right there. It's obviously not the plane, but, and then it gets, sorry. I'm kind of cycling around. And I'll just press play again, but this is like the last 5 hours of images here from the FAA at the airport. Valor 2 thought that was a Caravan plane there. A number of our viewers are saying that plane that you saw in that picture was, I'll show you again, was a Caravan there. Now it's dark there. But I'll show you that again. No, why? Hold on. Why is it, it's doing this thing? Oh, can you like do this? Oh, I see. There's different views at the airport. Oh, I see. Okay, I was confused. So this is about an hour after the plane went missing. And that's what the airport looks like. These are different views at the same airport: west, southwest, southeast, northwest, northeast. But what you can see is actually one of these had, oops, now it's doing this thing. Anyways, so some of our viewers are saying that they believe is the same type of plane right there. A number of our viewers said that is a 208 Cessna. Viewers, oh, and it started playing again, so I'm sorry, but can I go back there? Let's see if I can pull that up there again. You know, it might have gone by because the time has gone past. Anyways, I think we may have lost the previous one. All right, I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let me see if there's any updates here. Give me a moment. Nothing from the Nome Volunteer Fire Department. I'll show you what they said. That's been the big source of information on this. The Nome Volunteer Fire Department. So let me just read through what they said. They started by saying, when was this posted? I'd like to be able to get a time here. Roughly 2 hours ago. I'm not going to worry about it. We are currently responding to a report of a missing Bering Air Caravan plane. There were 10 people on board. An aircraft was en route from Unalakleet to Nome. We're currently doing an active ground search from Nome from White Mountain and have as much up-to-date information on the event as possible. Due to weather and visibility, we are limited on air search at the current time. National Guard and Coast Guard and troopers have been notified and are active in the search. Norton Sound Health Corporation is standing by. We ask the public to please think of those who may be missing at this time, but due to weather and safety concerns, please do not form individual search parties. Families are encouraged to seek support at Norton Sound Health Corporation. More information will be posted as it is confirmed and comes available. Then they said, our latest information from flight service, the pilot of the plane told Anchorage Air Traffic Control that he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared. Search efforts are expanding as more details emerge. Now, if you look at the Flight Radar 24 data here for the plane, which is there, you don't see a circling pattern, somebody circling around waiting for something. So the holding pattern was supposed to be while the runway was cleared. That was the plan. He intended to, as our viewers pointed out. But, I mean, you're not seeing a holding pattern obviously here. You're just seeing the data stop broadcasting here. And as I mentioned, if you look at the altitude, it stops, the data suddenly stops when the plane is about, what, 5,200 feet in the air over the water. So I have no explanation for that. The yellow is the speed, the blue is the altitude. If we go, and it was about 12 miles off the coast when it's pretty short flight, about 45 minutes it's supposed to be, but it was 12 miles off the coast when it stopped, when the data stopped. Now, also, after that, the Nome Volunteer Fire Department said, there is a C-130 Coast Guard plane planning to scope the area and see if they can get a visual of the plane to assist ground crews with GPS coordinates. They will not land in the area. Elmendorf is also sending flight support through the Air Force. Ground crews have covered all along the coast from Nome to Topkok. The plane's exact location is still unknown. We continue to expand search efforts to as many avenues as possible until the plane is located. Then they posted, The C-130 has arrived in the Nome area. The plane will not land, but will fly a grid pattern over the water and shoreline in attempts to locate the plane. The plane, the C-130, I believe, is equipped with specialized equipment for search and rescue that enables them to locate objects and people through no visibility conditions. Then the last update, which was about 40 minutes ago, said, this is a search and rescue imagery report of the ice conditions was provided by Rick Tauman of U.S. Air Force, I believe that is, utilizing imagery from NOAA. From this, we can see a lead, which I believe means like a small crack or opening in the ice near shore, as well as some ice pack. Now, if it's small, you're not going to, I mean, this is a pretty wide view here. So I don't think you're going to see the crack. Well, maybe if you zoomed in on this, I can't see it off the top of my head. I don't really know what I'm looking for. But, I mean, this is a pretty wide view, what you're seeing here. This view is, if you look at Flight Radar 24, I mean, it's all of this, you know? So it's, you know, this whole coast here. So I don't know if that crack is meant to be visible on that picture or just meant to be something you see when you zoom in. Unless one of our viewers says maybe well, this wouldn't be from what I understood, a lead in the ice maybe meant like a narrow opening. I might be wrong. But maybe a lead in the ice means, I think one of our viewers says maybe this means that the ice doesn't cover all the way till shore. I'm not sure. Oh, UAF is not U.S. Air Force, University of Alaska Fairbanks. One of our viewers says UAF is University of Alaska Fairbanks. You know, I can probably look him up and tell you that. Rick Tauman is at University of Alaska Fairbanks. So you're right about that. Thanks for the correction. And they have not posted an update. Nothing. Let me check for some more updates here. Hope they find them, but this plane has now been missing it is almost 9 p.m. It's over 5 hours this plane has been missing for. In very cold weather. The current weather there, when I last checked, was 13 degrees Fahrenheit. And it stopped giving out a signal over water. Now, can we see on Flight Radar 24? That is, hold on, we don't need that up there. We're not seeing anything there on Flight Radar 24. This is, I think, snow in the blue. Let me see if I see anything else here. That's a live radar there. Give me a moment, and then let me just go back to there is the flight track from Flight Radar 24, and let me go and check a couple things. Oh, hold on. Thank you. Our viewer, The Truth Jim, says this plane is heading to the area. That is a U.S. Air Force plane, HC-130J Combat King II. This plane maybe is heading towards that area. I mean, it's heading in the direction of Nome. I don't know if this is a plane that's going to be used in the search. Oops. You can see it right down here. Yes, this is look at what Lockheed Martin says about this plane. HC-130J Combat King. It is the Air Force's only dedicated fixed-wing personnel recovery platform. Personnel recovery platform. Recovery operations in austere, unforgiving environments. So that certainly looks, it's a plane you would use to recover people in a difficult environment. I can't say for sure that it's going to help with the search, but I would not be surprised. Mel Raz says maybe they found it. But that is a Air Force plane that is heading over there, heading in that direction. UFO community thinks that because there is no ships in the area via marine traffic, it looks like a good chance it is frozen over. That's what UFO community thinks. The post here yeah, I mean, this says wind speed down here, wind speed knots. This is a search and rescue imagery report of the ice conditions. I'm not good at reading this stuff, but again, this is, according to Nome Volunteer Fire Department, this is a search and rescue imagery report of the ice conditions. Hang on a moment here. There's the flight path. One Eye thinks if it's been this long, it's a recovery operation now. We haven't heard that. So there's, I mean, as far as I know, they're still searching. But, I mean, obviously it's not good. It's been this many hours. It's been missing for over 5 hours now. Hang on a moment. Now, some of our viewers are claiming the plane has been found. Hold on. Who is saying this? All right. The Nome Volunteer Department, Fire Department has not said anything. How about the Alaska State Troopers? I have not seen a report that it was found. I mean, please send it to me if you see it. I'm looking for it. I have not seen. A couple of the viewers in the chat claim that the plane's been found. I have not seen any report saying that. I've not seen any report. And again, the Nome Volunteer Fire Department, which has been the best source of information, they're really the only one posting steady updates. They haven't posted an update in 49 minutes. So I haven't seen that at all. Let me just show you again the plane that's heading in that direction. That is a Lockheed Martin HC-130J Combat King II, which specializes in personnel recovery operations in austere conditions. I'm assuming that's heading there to help with this search and rescue and maybe recovery operation. But that plane is en route. Well, I assume, I can't, maybe it's not going to stop there, but that would be my assumption. Our viewer, the launch pad, lined up the Flight Radar 24 image with the, I don't know how to read the other image. It's the image that the Nome Volunteer Fire Department posted that said it's like a search and rescue image showing the ice condition, but the colors, I don't know how to read it because on the original post, it said like wind speed. The colors represented wind speed. So if you look at the original post here, right here, the colors, it says down here, wind speed. And again, I've seen some say that this is the lead in the ice, a break in the ice where it's blue. I don't know. Let me check something here and maybe I can get you an answer. Well, I'm not going to worry about that now. But thanks to our viewer for sending that in. Keep an eye on this plane. That is the Air Force plane flying towards where Nome Airport is, which is right here. The plane that's missing was flying from Unalakleet to Nome. And it went down, well, we don't know if it went down, but it stopped broadcasting right in over the water right in this area. I don't know if it went down, if it landed on ice or not. Yeah, Flight Radar 24 literally just posted an U.S. Air Force C-130 is also in the area and heading in the direction of Nome. Flight Radar 24 says there's another plane, a Coast Guard plane, that has been searching, but that aircraft is entering in and out of coverage. And they posted a link to that. No, playback not supported. Okay. Anyways. So we're not seeing it on the radar right now, that other one. You know, I've seen a number of people saying it's not out of the ordinary. That can't be right. Yes, plane crashes happen. Small plane crashes happen. I don't believe that every day 10 people die in plane crashes or 10 people are missing in a plane crash. So I see some very angry people in the chat saying, oh, it's not out of the ordinary. That's just false. It's just false that planes with 10 people on them crash. So I don't know why angry people keep yelling about it in the chat. It's just demonstrably false. And also planes that are flown by an airline. It's not a private plane. It's a Bering Air plane. Bering Air is an American airline headquartered in Nome, Alaska. No, I didn't. I looked for a scanner. I couldn't find one. The Air Force plane is getting closer. You know, they were posting these semi-regular updates over there on the Nome Volunteer Fire Department. They have not posted anything in the last hour or so. 57 minutes since their last update over there at the Nome Volunteer Fire Department. You can reach me at Lookner on X. One Eye, our viewer, says rescuing people on ice can be one of the toughest because it can take special equipment to do it safely. It's so hard to read the ice, especially if it's been a warm winter. Again, the original plane took off at, you can see it says average flight time, 47 minutes. That's what it's supposed to be. It took off at 2:38 p.m. and it stopped broadcasting radar information at 3:16, about 38 minutes into the flight. Most of the way there, just stopped with the altitude at about 5,300 feet. The last data has the altitude at 5,300 feet, the ground speed at 136 miles an hour. And that's it. One of our viewers asked about the normal height. This is another same flight number, same route from January 22nd. And this data, what you can see is this flight goes, it's interesting, this flight flew at about 10,000 feet. 12,350. This one was at 12,350. Now, there could be perfectly reason. Look, there's on the face of it, I don't know of anything suspicious about that or anything. I couldn't know less about how people usually fly from Unalakleet to Nome and whether the weather conditions make a difference with the altitude and everything. So, I have not heard. There's been no reporting yet that the plane reported any problems. There's been no press conference that I'm aware of. That Air Force plane continues approaching the area. Now, maybe there's stuff we don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff we don't know, but maybe the pilot said something to air traffic control about something going wrong that we haven't heard. We have not heard any reporting that something was going wrong. And indeed, all we heard about this was our latest information from Nome Volunteer Fire Department, our latest information from Flight Service. The pilot of the plane told Anchorage Air Traffic Control he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared. But it doesn't appear one was ever entered into, as you can see from right there. It's been, right now, almost 6 hours, I believe, since the plane disappeared. About 5 hours and 40 minutes. Here's the flight right there. Just stopped. Stopped, the data stopped. I don't know if the weather updates on this automatically. You're looking at Flight Radar 24. We have that, again, the Air Force plane is getting closer to the area. A number of viewers suggested looking at marinetraffic.com, which is a ship analytics and tracking provider. How do they describe it? I'll tell you in a second here. Ship tracking and maritime analytics provider. Marinetraffic.com. They're not, I just looked, they're not showing ships in the area. I'll show you. Give me a second, I'll pull it up here. Ship tracking and maritime analytics provider. Okay, here is what marine traffic shows. Marinetraffic.com shows nothing. Shows no ships. And there's plenty of other ships in other places. No ships there. One of our viewers saw us because it was icy, but nothing. Yeah, Captain Jerry Donnelly says no ships in the ice. So I'm not seeing any on marine traffic. Ty McFadden says it's going to be difficult to spot wreckage on the ice in the dark. Nothing new yet from Nome Volunteer Fire Department. Here is the Anchorage. Here's that plane that specializes in recovery operations. Air Force plane heading to the area. Nome is, let me pull this, let me get this a little less here. Yeah, so you can see Nome is right here. I'm just checking various sources for updates here. Let me show you something from AP on this real quick. Crews search for missing Alaska plane with 10 on board. That is a picture of Nome, Alaska, right there. An aircraft carrying 10 people went missing in rural Alaska during dangerous winter weather. It was the Bering Air Caravan, but the Bering Air Caravan, which is a Cessna plane, a Cessna Grand Caravan EX, I believe it is. Flight Radar says it's a Cessna 208B Grand Caravan EX. The plane was reported missing at about 4 p.m. while en route from Unalakleet to Nome with 9 passengers and a pilot. Unalakleet is a community of about 690 people in western Alaska, about 150 miles southeast of Nome and 395 miles northwest of Anchorage. It left Unalakleet at 2:37 p.m., and officials lost contact with it less than an hour later, according to the director of operations for Bering Air. The aircraft was 12 miles offshore. Staff at Bering Air is working hard to gather details, get emergency assistance, search and rescue going, said the director of operations for Bering Air. Bering Air serves 32 villages in western Alaska from hubs in Nome, Kotzebue, and Unalakleet. Most destinations receive twice daily scheduled flights, Monday through Saturday. The Nome Volunteer Fire Department said in a statement on social media it was conducting a ground search from Nome and White Mountain. We talked about that. Due to weather and visibility, we are limited on air search at the current time. There has been an Air Force plane in the air searching. We know from Flight radar 24, right? No, sorry, Coast Guard plane has been conducting search operations in the area. The National Guard and Coast Guard and troopers are also helping with the search, according to the fire department. An FAA weather camera near Nome appeared to show near whiteout conditions over several hours Thursday afternoon, according to Alaska's news source. The names on people on board were not yet being released. Nome, a gold rush town, is just south of the Arctic Circle and is known as the ending point of the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race. Up, did we lose? I think we lost from radar coverage the Air Force plane. My assumption is maybe they could have turned off their transponder, I guess, but Flight Radar 24 says coverage in the area is spotty. Coverage in the area is variable. So we haven't been seeing the Coast Guard search and rescue plane either. So maybe we just can't see it. We were seeing it fly. We were seeing it fly all the way there. It seems like it's we're not picking up these planes as they're close. I'll also check ADSB Exchange, but nobody's mentioned it. So my guess is that, yeah, this is ADSB Exchange. That is a passenger plane. I'm not seeing anything on ADSB Exchange either. One of our viewers just mentioned the weather. It is 10 degrees Fahrenheit, according to Google there. It is sustained wind at 9 miles an hour. Sustained. Now, why does this say something different? Nome Weather Channel says it's 10 degrees there. Yeah, so it's 10 degrees. Someone says they see the 130 on their app. Which app is that? Oh, the Coast Guard plane just showed up. Hold on. Here it is. Hey, look. There is the Coast Guard plane. That's a Coast Guard plane right there. Oh, is that leaving the area? Did maybe the other plane come in to replace it? I don't know. But that is flying away from the area. I mean, that's past where the plane, if you look at the, that's the last location of the missing plane. This plane is well past that right now. Alaska Van Ars says it's doing a grid search. Well, I know it was doing a grid search. I don't know if it's still doing a grid search in that area. Maybe it is. Latu thinks maybe they've confirmed the crash site and that's why they're bringing the other plane over. I'm not sure. Captain Jerry Donnelly says 7.5 hours of daylight today in Nome. No, there are no scanners that I'm aware of. There could be boats there that just don't show up on marine traffic. I mean, there aren't any on marine traffic. Cags and Bacon thinks lead in the ice means nothing with the crash. It's a normal formation. Bad ice storm up there. Still no update from Nome Volunteer Fire Department. They last updated an hour and 15 minutes ago. They were doing sort of these every 15 or 30 minutes updates, but they stopped, and we haven't had an update from them, the Nome Volunteer Fire Department, in over an hour now. Let me read you a little something from Reuters. Reuters says Alaska authorities search for missing passenger plane with 10 on board. It was reporting missing while on a route from Unalakleet to Nome. The small turboprop Cessna Caravan plane had 9 passengers and 1 pilot on board. Oh, the FAA posted about this, by the way. I should show you their post. Hang on. Oh, I thought they posted. I guess they haven't posted. I thought maybe they did. Well, I don't see it there. Anyways, let me keep reading this. Oh, Alaska's Department of Public Safety posted. We told you. We showed you that before. I think we showed you that before. Yeah. I thought the FAA might have. The FAA has not posted about this yet. Reuters says, as I show you on the screen, that is the flight data for the flight, which stopped about 12 miles before its destination, 12 miles offshore. Well, 12 miles offshore, maybe a bit more before its destination. The destination was Nome Airport, which is, I bet we can see it here. Where is the airport? There's Nome Airport there. That was the destination. And then one of our viewers pointed out Unalakleet is a small airport. I haven't even zoomed in there. There's Unalakleet Airport right there. Get that runway goes right on the coast there. But so Reuters says a disproportionate number of air taxi and commuter plane accidents occur in Alaska compared to other U.S. states. The U.S. government's National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health says Alaska has mountainous terrain and challenging weather. Many villages are not connected by roads, and small planes are used to transport people and goods. Bering Air is an Alaska-based regional airline that operates around 39 planes and helicopters, according to Flight Radar 24. Oh, we have both planes now. Look, both planes. We have the Air Force plane and the Coast Guard plane now. The last position flying over water was received by Flight Radar 24 38 minutes after departing Unalakleet. It's a flight that usually takes under an hour. It has now been missing for about 6 hours. As one of our viewers pointed out, the Coast Guard plane right now is at 19,000 feet. So that might just be going back to where it came from. Well, we can hope miraculously they find the people and that the plane is just somewhere and they can find it and find the people on it. This plane here, what's going on with this? Is this landing? It says this says 3,475 feet. Well, there's Nome. Maybe it'll land at the Nome Airport. We'll see. Stephen Noonan says National Weather Service Alaska has a sea ice map. I'm going to try to find it. Ah, okay. What does this even mean? Legend. Oh, look at this. Here, let's look at this plane right here. That is the that's the HC-130J. Maybe doing a grid search. This plane right now is at an altitude of 1,725 feet. The other plane is, again, flying out of the area. That's the Coast Guard plane. So I'm going to forget about that for now. And I'm just going to focus on this one here. Oop, did we lose it? Looks like we're off. Oops. Hey, I can't see that anymore. I can't see the Air Force one anymore. Maybe it's out of radar coverage now. Let's see. Now that one's the #1 worldwide. Yeah, we seem to have lost coverage in that area, but it's there. I'm sure it's just. This is the map. One of the viewers mentioned, I don't really know how to read this, but this is a sea ice map from National Weather Service Alaska. So what I can tell you is Nome is up here. Yeah, see it says Nome. So, and red it says CT 9/10. Anyways, if this is ice, looks like maybe there's not ice right on the shore. I don't know. Kind of similar to what that other graph seemed to be showing, but I'm not an expert here. It says CT, which is, I believe, concentration, but I don't know exactly what that means for ice. CT concentration. Red equals 9/10. Whatever. I'm not an expert in this, but it also says, legend, red pack ice. It says red is pack ice. But clearly lots of ice in the area, I guess you could say. Derby says that means it's solid ice. Again, that's not really my field. I'll post a link to that map in the chat, by the way. I'll post. You guys can look at it if you like. There, done. When is daylight? I think it's probably a while. Sunrise in Nome is at 10:23 a.m. I mean, that's over 12 hours from now. It's over 12 hours from now, sunrise. Just terrible. This could be the third fatal plane crash in the U.S. it took off on the 6th in 9 days. If you have any updates, where is this? Hang on a moment. Some of our viewers are sending me stuff from the Nome Nugget. They talk about people doing search and rescue. People. I mean, on land. Like on snow machines and stuff. But, I don't know if it is on land. It was 12 miles off the coast when it stopped broadcasting. But you can check out the Nome Nugget, which is a local paper there. They last posted an update about an hour ago. Kind of a short update. But certainly very concerning. Noreen Sanderson says, my husband says the plane should be equipped with an ELT, emergency locator transmitter. That's interesting. Karen Moore, our viewer, says, I wonder if in those conditions icing could occur. It seems like something catastrophic happened with the data just stopping. I'm not seeing there's an Air Force plane, I believe, in the area, but it's not coming up on the flight radar right now. These are just planes that are flying over. So I was just looking for something here. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, this search could go on hours and hours and hours. I mean, it's dark there. You know, it's tough conditions. It's not, you know, a big jetliner. It's a smallish plane that carries about 10 to 14 people. And it was 12 miles from the coast when it stopped transmitting. Richard Canuck said, is this plane configured with landing floats like a seaplane? That I don't know. I haven't heard that it is. When I look at, it doesn't look like it at all. I'm looking at the website for it. It doesn't have, it just has wheels. Oh, I found a product card for the Grand Cessna EX. It says it's a rugged... I'll post a link in the chat to this. For the product card for the exact model. The company says... It's a turboprop, can take up to 14 of your family and friends away from it all. It is the go-to regional airline, charter operation, or cargo carrier for its dependable, efficient nature. Oh, optional amphibious floats. It says there are it does say there are optional amphibious floats in the product card. Optional amphibious floats give you greater access to remote locations. I don't know why this would have been flying with optional amphibious floats, given that it was flying from an airport to an airport. It does say it's optional, though. Amphibious floats allow access to the most remote areas of the world. It is about 41 feet long, this plane, 15 feet high. Boofy says that's some harsh flying territory for sure, dangerous business. Not seeing aircraft right now on the radar, although there probably is that Air Force plane. Mark G thinks it wouldn't have the optional floats on it. Putin on the Blitz says, won't be using floats in the winter in Alaska. By the way, I want to thank our moderators. I really appreciate them being here. So we try to get you more information on this. Ruth Krafasi is there right now. Thank you, Ruth. I really appreciate it. Roberts May Queen, thanks for moderating. Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha over there on X, over on Twitch. Sarah and Surly Dev on Facebook. Kay Lowry Body, thanks for being there. Christina Neal, Paul Anderson. Also a quick thanks to Missy Miss, Air Force USA, Richard Canuck, Vanessa, Tim Glenn, Stephen Noonan, Kieran, Captain Jerry Donnelly, Linda Thomas, PZ Papa Zulu, KS, Zev Lindsay, Bojangles, 2929, Vaughn's AstroTurf, J Spoon, Nick 1744F, Alaska, Sevenfold, Cags and Bacon, JZ Gamer, Nina Drew, Leonette Sonic, Millennial, Diligence, and Patinition, and Crazy and KY and Questella, and Chi-Town Deke, and Redefine Happiness. Let's see here. Anything more from Nome Volunteer Fire Department? Nothing. Nothing more from... They haven't posted in about an hour and a half now. If you missed it, that is what the air data is, the plane data is from Flight Radar 24. Stopped sending out data when it was over 5,000 feet in the air. One of the viewers said there was something on the flight radar. Let's see. The Coast Guard flight is left. That was there before. Again, you can see the data. That's the blue. The last set of data point is altitude 5,300, ground speed 136. That's it. Oh, let me show you something from the Nome Police Department. Now, this is from hours ago. This is from 3 hours ago. One of our viewers mentioned this. Thank you. Nome Police Department, thank you. We have an overwhelming support and have located a sufficient amount of boats. If you would like to continue to provide leads on equipment needed by Nome Search and Rescue, please comment on the Facebook post instead of NPD non-emergency line. NPD is requesting assistance locating any community members who own a working flat bottom boat. They say now that they have enough boats, I guess, or a John boat that can assist with search and rescue. That was 3 hours ago. Well, over at least 3 hours ago. Yeah, that was over 3 hours ago. E-Oddity says small community. The population is about 3,600 people in Nome, Alaska. One of our viewers, Missy Miss, said Alaska's New Sort site said reports of a plane down in Solomon area of Alaska. I haven't seen that. I don't even know where Solomon is. I just went to their article about plane with 10 on board missing, and it didn't really say anything new about anything about a plane, that plane being reported. Solomon is near Nome, but I literally went to Alaska's News Source article and read the article and didn't see anything about that. Maybe I'm looking at a different site than you are. Alaska's News Source. I literally went there. It says plane with 10 on board missing near Nome. And I went to the article. Oh, yeah. So guys, there's a graphic at Alaska's News Source that says reports of plane down in Solomon area. But there's literally nothing in the article about it. And I searched the website and I don't see anything on the site. So my guess is that somebody made the graphic and they just figured, oh, there's a plane down. But there's no reporting on it. My guess is that it's just whoever made the graphic was kind of reading that into the story, because there's nothing in the story about it. Hang on. Somebody said it's a video. There's a graphic. I haven't watched it. But again, there's nothing in the story. So, and they haven't posted anything on their X account about it. So I'm not going to really focus on the video. I appreciate you letting me know, but my guess would be is if they really had new information about plane wreckage, they would be posting it and not, it wouldn't just be in a video like that. But I appreciate you letting me know. Thanks also Linda, Thomas, and T-Mac. I have not seen an official FAA statement on this yet. Hang on a second here. Yeah, no post yet from I'll take a second and listen to that video on the Alaska News Source site. I have to mute it though. Hold on. Yeah, all they said in that video is, we're hearing a report that the plane possibly went down in the Solomon area. They don't say who they heard it from. That's it. That's literally all they said about it in the video. That's it. It's not written about in the article. They haven't posted about it. They don't say where they got it from. And Solomon would be on land, I assume. The data stopped broadcasting about 12 miles offshore. So, you know, I can't read that much into that. Yeah, as Turntoff says, there's literally no sourcing given for it. I don't even know when they made that video. We'll give it a little while longer. I mean, it's possible that they'll just keep searching for hours and hours and hours. I would assume they're not going to make any announcements about the plane until they find something. But the Solomon, Alaska area is here. I said Solomon is in the Nome area. Open in maps. Sorry, I'll show you here. Oops, let me do it this way. There. Solomon. Which again, it's on this coast. I just don't know if the reason they were saying Solomon is just because they're just going off the flight radar data, but which has it here, but it's still miles from the coast there. We'll give it a few more minutes. Thanks, Big Jim RC, who says, is it weird that this was built in Wichita, Kansas? I have no information that this accident is connected to either of the other two accidents at this time. I will show you again, the FAA has a page about this plane. It says it was built by Textron, which owns Cessna. It says manufacturer year 2020. It says it's only, I mean, if that's what it says, if that's correct, then it's a pretty new plane. It's a 208B model. The certificate issue date was 2021, valid to 2028 registration. But 2020 manufacturing year. Owned by Bering Air Airline, which is based in Nome, Alaska. I don't know where, when our viewer claimed it was manufactured in Wichita. I'm not sure where it was manufactured. The engine was manufactured, it says P&W Canada engine. Yeah, I'm aware of the plane. There was a crash that happened yesterday. It's not really, it was yesterday, and it was not in the U.S., so I haven't mentioned it. I'll mention it real quick. I believe I posted about it on my X account yesterday, but I don't want to get off on a different topic. U.S. service member, 3 contractors killed in a Philippines plane crash on Thursday. That was an aircraft contracted by the U.S. military, which had been carrying out intelligence and surveillance support at the request of the Philippines. It was a Beechcraft King Air 300. Certainly condolences to the people who passed away in that crash. Not seeing any planes on the radar now, but there very well might be an Air Force plane searching there that we can't see because it was there before. I haven't heard anything about anybody who was on the plane. Thanks to Alicia Alexander, by the way. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about who was on the plane. 9 passengers, 1 pilot. It has now been missing for about 6.5 hours. The Nome Volunteer Fire Department just has not posted any updates now for 2 hours. They were posting a bunch of them, and after that, nothing. Again, I did find it interesting that they said the pilot of the plane told Anchorage Air Traffic Control he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared. That might just be a normal thing, though. I mean, we've seen pictures of the weather at the airport, and it was snowy there. I mean, at least snowy for part of the day. So maybe that's just a normal thing that the pilot would say. This is the current picture at Nome Airport right there. Current conditions. And that's 5 hours ago. Oh, I think that's the type of plane it is. I believe that is the exact type of plane. I'm not. Our viewers were saying that they thought this was the type of plane. But it is a fixed wing, single prop plane. Certainly similar, if not the same type. Just Another Scrub says Cessna Caravan, yes. No, that wouldn't be the missing plane, because that's about 5 hours ago at Nome Airport, and it wouldn't be there. But might be the same type. But if you play the loop as we did before, you can see the weather getting worse there. But all of this is all of this would be after the plane was supposed to be there. This is 8 p.m. local time right there. You can go look at the if you Google FAA, if you Google FAA Nome, you can find. This is the site. See, it's interesting. They have. You can go to the airport there and go to the different directions. Set start, set end. So if you go to FAA weather cams, you can find the camera there. Thanks. Yeah, Epic Rook said I sent a picture of the plane on X. Yeah, I can't show pictures I don't have the rights to. So some people have sent me like an older picture of the plane, and I appreciate that. But again, I can only show the photos that I have the rights to show. It's just a copyright thing. So I apologize. I can't. I know where to get old photos of the plane, but I have to respect the copyrights. Thanks, Ivan Jr. Yeah, Ivan, that was a smaller plane with 4 people on it. We talked about that a few minutes ago. That was yesterday. That was the Philippines thing we talked about from yesterday. A U.S. service member and 3 contractors were killed in a crash in the Philippines. But that, again, is the flight track. I mean, it's certainly not good that the plane stopped broadcasting all of a sudden 12 miles offshore. That's not encouraging at an altitude of 5,300 feet. Dave Missy says no FAA communications transcripts from tower. Well, we don't have that. I'm sure they exist, but that's not something that's been released yet. I'm sure there's a record of communications. I don't know that anything was reported going wrong by the pilot. We'll have to see. AK Mellon says Nome is still remote Alaska. There is no news station there. They get the info from AST emergency reports. Weather is horrible there right now. Everyone is likely out searching. It is a small community. Everyone pitches in. Thank you, AK Mellon. Also, if the plane did go down, whether it's in one piece or not, 12 miles offshore or something, that's going to be, and Nome is over here. So, but I don't think you're going to have people walking out 12 miles on the ice to find it. They're going to have to get it a different way. Oh, Autism Mommy mentioned that the Alaska National Guard posted an update. Thank you, Autism Mommy, for mentioning that. Alaska National Guard said, the Alaska Rescue Coordinator has rescued Alaska National Guard's assistance in the search for the missing plane in the Nome area. And Alaska National Guard HC-130J, we saw that plane come in, is actively searching this evening. And an HH-60G Pave Hawk helicopter is on the way to assist. M. Griffith also mentioned that to me as well. A Black Hawk helicopter stationed in Nome is also prepared to join the search tomorrow, weather depending. Thanks, Dave B., for mentioning that as well. That's from the Alaska National Guard. I don't even know if the helicopters could fly right now in the dark and in the weather. Yes, Captain Jerry Donnelly, data is spotty in the... Well, is the data spotty there? No. I'm not seeing... Oh, so what Captain Jerry Donnelly is saying is it possible that, like, this went out all of a sudden just because the data is spotty? I understand what you're saying, but you're saying, like, maybe... It's interesting because we've seen planes go in and out of radar coverage. I don't know exactly where. He's saying, like, could it have gone out of radar coverage, but then kept flying, and then, it clearly didn't get where it's supposed to go. I don't know how that is. I mean, I will say this: Flight Radar 24 didn't ever. They posted about this, and they didn't. I would think they would say something like that. Well, the plane went out, the data stopped there, but we think that that's a common area where the data goes out. And I know it's not actually because, well, if you go to this flight, here's a flight from January 22nd. This January 22nd flight had coverage the whole way there. Now, maybe things are different today. But this is a flight from January 22nd where it has coverage all the way there. And when Flight Radar 24 posted about it today, they said last position received. They didn't say anything about, like, we think... They did point out that this Coast Guard flight is going in and out because coverage is intermittent there. But nothing. They didn't mention anything about it. But it's an interesting question that Captain Jerry Donnelly asked. To see if I have any other updates for you here. Yeah, so you know, the New York Times has a quote says that according to the airline's director of operations, the plane went off radar and lost radio contact with air traffic control in the airline around 3:20 p.m. Okay? This says this right here would be 3:16 p.m. But again, the plane went off the radar and lost radio contact with air traffic control in the airline around 3:20 p.m. So it's not just coming off of radar, it's losing radio contact as well. And the U.S. Coast Guard did say that when the position was lost, the aircraft was 12 miles offshore. The Times says more than 80% of communities in Alaska are inaccessible by road. Air connections are essential for getting supplies like fuel and food. Carl Carlson, thank you. Carl says he thinks ADS-B coverage should be good at this altitude. Lower altitudes might be glitchy. But this was at over 5,000 feet. Oh, Big Jim says, thanks Big Jim, who says 208B manufacturing was moved from Wichita to Independence, Kansas in 2016. Thank you, Big Jim RC. Yeah, but they lost radio contact as well as going off the radar. AP says Bering Air serves 32 villages in western Alaska from hubs in Nome, in Kotzebue, and Unalakleet, I think. Unalakleet? Sorry, Unalakleet. Unalakleet. That's what Wikipedia said the pronunciation was. Sorry if I'm getting it wrong. Most destinations receive twice daily scheduled flights from Monday through Saturday. Airplanes are often the only option for travel of any distance in rural Alaska, particularly in winter. It was 17 degrees Fahrenheit in Unalakleet around takeoff, according to the National Weather Service. There was light snow falling and fog. I'll post again the flight data from this plane from Flight Radar 24. Yeah, I'm checking different articles and stuff, and they really don't have updates. Yeah, we're almost at, I mean, this plane, we're almost at 7 hours this plane has been missing. Almost 7 hours. Hang on. We'll give it a few more minutes and see if anything comes out. You know, I don't know if we'll have an update soon. It's about 10:30 p.m. there, almost 10:27 p.m. local time. It's dark, obviously. Where is the regular flight radar? Hold on. Give me a moment here. There's Alaska there. Yeah, none of the planes are on, the search planes, if any, are on the radar right now. So the flight normally takes about 45 minutes. It just never got there. Yeah, and as one of our viewers just said, sunrise is about 12 hours from now. Well, it's certainly seems. Let's hope that they miraculously find this plane and the people are okay. Very concerning, obviously. This was a regional airline. I'm not seeing anything on ADSB Exchange either. That's just a passenger plane there. Hold on a second here. Yeah, one of our viewers, AK Mellon, mentioned that in the Alaska News Source article, they talked to a local fire chief in White Mountain who talked about the visibility being really bad there and it's being very hard to search. I don't know when they talked to him, but saying the visibility is bad and it's really hard to search because you can't see and it's dark. As I mentioned, you can go to the FAA site and find their cameras. You can see that there's a live cam that the FAA put up showing the conditions at the airport. You can just Google FAA weather cams Nome. That's the current. That says what is this? 10:26. That's 5 minutes ago. That's one direction. Yeah, these are the current conditions. That's 5 minutes ago right there. That's the airport. You can see it's windy and snowy and dark. So that's what they have to search in. I don't even know that the helicopters can fly in this weather, but these are all from 5 minutes ago. Thomas Darwin says very bad conditions. Richard Canuck thinks that the plane could be equipped with a deployable rubber lifeboat or raft. Thanks to Richard and Aaron Saucedo. Let's see here. What was I doing? I mean, look, obviously this is really bad. The information we have so far is bad, is suggesting something bad happened, clearly. So all we can do is hope that the people are found. But, suddenly losing radar and communications 12 miles offshore is not good. At over 5,000 feet of altitude. I don't know, like, this is not my field. I'm guessing people who really are aviation experts would have thoughts on it losing, on the data going out 5,000 feet in the air, 5,300 feet in the air. I don't know if if a plane just went down normally, like it stalled or something, would you expect to still see the transmitting the data as from the elevation data? Because this just stops. And again, the radio communication stopped too. From what we know. Now, I guess in theory it could be revealed later that they heard some distress call or something, but that has not been reported. Alex Matthew says the NTSB has a lot of work to do this year and it's only February. Yeah, our viewer, US Linda. Oh, Linda's moderating over there on X. She's saying, well, unless they're not releasing what was said. Again, nothing has been reported that there was any kind of report of anything going wrong. We're not aware of a Mayday call. Don Co says this kind of plane is normally designed to fly in very tough weather conditions. So are the pilots of this type of aircraft. They probably fly in this sort of route under similar conditions hundreds of times per year. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about aviation, but some people are suggesting things catastrophic that could have happened. Something catastrophic would explain why it stops broadcasting all of a sudden, but I don't know what that would be. Kyle Kidd says, I think the best case scenario is total power loss and safe gliding and landing on the ice. Could it lose power in a way though that wouldn't? Does it have any backup to transmit, like, to transmit the position data? Could it glide down for a landing? I don't know enough about aviation. Alibaba thinks it has a battery backup. That I don't know. FAI, I don't even believe, has posted a statement about this. Yeah, there's not even an FAA statement about it yet. They have a page for aviation accidents and incidents, and they haven't even posted about this. NTSB has not posted about it either. I went to their X account. All right, well, look, right now I really have no updates to give you on this. And I mean, there could be an update in 5 minutes, but for all I know, this could take hours and hours because it's dark. And the sunrise is not for like approximately 12 hours. And it's bad weather conditions. And there's reports of low visibility. Now, it's possible that they found stuff already. We just don't know. But, right now I just don't have more for you. I wish I could give you some good news, but I don't have that now. So, Switch the Channel says all planes, helicopters are gliders without power. Yeah, so, it certainly is not looking promising right now, but let's hope we can somehow miraculously hear good news. We could have the third fatal air accident in the U.S. in 9 days. Again, I have no evidence that any of them are connected, but with the 29th and the 31st were the ones in D.C. and Philadelphia. 10 people on this plane, including the pilot. So anyways, I'm going to start wrapping up this coverage, but I'm sorry I can't give you more information. I just don't have anything. There was not much information to go on anyway at the beginning. A lot of the information was coming from the Nome Fire Department, Nome Volunteer Fire Department, and they haven't posted in over 2 hours now. 2.5 hours. But I do appreciate people being here for the stream and sending updates and posting what you know and all that. Again, sorry I can't give you more information. I will certainly be interested to hear what aviation experts say about this flight. But let's hope we can get some positive news. I mean, but we'll see. But it's been a while now. But I appreciate you being here. And if you want, subscribe, follow the channel. I don't anticipate doing another. Well, my guess is we won't end up doing another stream on this. But I will post updates on my X account when I have them. That's at Lookner on X there. You can follow me there if you want. Again, there could be an update 2 minutes after I get off the air, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I do think there's a fair chance that it'll take a while. And then who knows, well, why might longer than that to figure out what happened with the plane. Random says, why didn't they Mayday? If they didn't, it's a good question. We don't know for sure that they didn't. By the way, this is a previous flight from January 22nd, same route, but that one made it the whole way, whereas this one did not. Anyways, I'll keep an eye on it. But if you want to turn on notifications for the channel, because as this shows, I never know when breaking news is going to happen when we're coming on the air. We have our own notification system. It's free. You can sign up, and then you'll get a notification whenever we go live. So the mods will post a link to those notifications in the chat. I really do appreciate our mods being here. Thank you so much. We could not have our chat rooms without our moderators. Ruth Krafasi, for example, over there on YouTube. Cynthia Moon. All of our other, Roberts May Queen, all of our other YouTube moderators who've been there. Linda Belglary and X. Linda Belglary and Misha on X over on Twitch. LB Prairie Dawn, Sarah Surly Dev, all of our other Twitch moderators. Val G. Griffin, Christina Neal, Paul Anderson, Kay Lowry Body on Facebook, thank you. And we have a chat too. You can chat with other viewers live when we're not on the air. It's the same link as the notifications link. It's free, so check that out if you want. Thanks to our Discord mods. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel too. Thanks Switch the channel and everybody else I thanked earlier. And also thank you to our Facebook subscribers over there. Just want to thank a couple people who support the channel, like Kay and Robert Real II, Eve Richards and others, and all of our Twitch subscribers and our YouTube members. I appreciate your support, which lets the channel exist. Night Owl, Jack's Animals, Pathless Cross, EMT Pirate, Sugar Road, Underjolt, JRG 770, Wall Street Shaggy, Harvest G, just to name a few of our Twitch subscribers. Voltron Nome, and our YouTube members like Lucky Minute, Evelyn and Maine, Saudi BB, Crypto King, Batman, just to name a few. Dr. McRib, Fred E, CAC 813, Evelyn and Maine, Riri Patton. I very much appreciate people have been sending me stuff on social media that they've heard. So I do appreciate that. Paula Broadworth. I think Paula's in Alaska. Everybody in Alaska, special thoughts with you guys. And again, thoughts with the people on board and their families. So we just don't have more information right now. Saudi BB says it's a volunteer fire department. They're running other calls. No post for 2 hours. Completely normal and expected for a department like that. Well, I mean, they were posting regularly for several hours. So I do wonder if they just stopped getting more information. Or they got stuff that they didn't feel like they could post. But maybe they got busy doing other stuff too. Maybe they're out searching. I don't know. Thanks to Stephen Ward and Barry as well, our members, in Vanessa and Rocky Allen. And Pathless Cross, our subscriber on Twitch, I didn't mention. Let me do one last check and see if I can find anything for you. But I'm not seeing any planes on the radar right now. You can go to Flight Radar 24 is the flight radar I've been looking at. You can check them out, flightradar24.com. Great flight radar site. So you can check them out. And Nome Volunteer Fire Department, they were posting updates. You can check them out too. There's nothing more there right now. Maybe they'll post something at some point again. The last update was 2.5 hours ago. And I hope all the searchers stay safe there who are searching in not good conditions. One Eye says, trying to search at night in these conditions just puts more lives at risk. It's very unforgiving up there. Well, I'm guessing they're taking precautions, but it sounds quite difficult. Just seeing if I have any more updates. I'd like to check. No, I'm not seeing anything there. And I'm going to check also the Public Information Office, Alaska Department of Public Safety. They have not posted anything new, I don't think. Nope, nothing new from them. I'm looking. I'm not seeing any. No. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. Yes. Did the plane just disappear off radar? Yes. Stopped giving radar information. All right. That is it for right now. So we've been bringing you live coverage of the disappearance of this Bering Air flight 8E445 in Alaska, going from Unalakleet to Nome, Alaska. Stopped transmitting about 12 miles offshore and had 10 people on board. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it's been missing for about over 7 hours now, which is not good. So let's hope that we can hear somehow good news, but it's, certainly a difficult situation. So that is it right now. I appreciate you joining our live coverage. Sorry I can't get you more information right now. I'll be looking out for more, and I'll post on my X account if I see anything. That is it for now, and we will see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.